The LSAT may change forever beginning next year. Hey, what's up, everybody? Steve Schwartz here from LSAT Unplugged, joining you today to share some major upcoming changes to the LSAT. Before I get into it, a little bit about LSAT Unplugged. We offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. Check out the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out. So the reason I'm making this video is that a lot of students are asking me, when is LSAC removing the current logic games section and why? The story goes back to the fall of 2019, back when a blind test taker named Angelo Bino settled a lawsuit with the Law School Admission Council. He had sued them, contending that he was at an unfair disadvantage because he couldn't benefit from diagramming on the logic games section the way that most other test takers can. LSAC settled the lawsuit and agreed to develop a new version of the LSAT without the current logic games section within the next 4 years. I'm going to read now from the joint press release between Angelo Bino's attorneys and LSAC. Consistent with the parties' agreement, LSAC will complete this work within the next 4 years, which will enable all prospective law school students to take an exam administered by LSAC that does not have the current AR section, but continues to assess analytical reasoning abilities. So they're saying here AR because the formal name for logic games is analytical reasoning, but for clarity here, I'll just say logic games since that's what we all call the section, of course. So LSAC agreed in the fall of 2019 to complete their work on research and development into a new version of the test within the next 4 years. 4 years ahead from the fall of 2019 is the fall of 2023. And we did, in fact, see LSAC run a number of experiments testing out new versions of the logic games section over the past year or so. In June of 2022, in November of 2022, and then they did a pilot study in December of 2022. So they ran these experiments by giving test takers experimental versions on their experimental sections that contained new types of potential logic games replacements. Those test takers were, of course, quite surprised not to receive your standard experimental section containing more normal looking LSAT questions, but LSAC did alert them, hey, this is something different. This is experimental, which was unusual for LSAC, but they're trying out something new. Now that we're already into September of 2023, we can expect LSAC will finish up their R&D fairly soon if they haven't already, and we can reasonably say that LSAC will start administering the new versions of the test with the new games starting around June or July of 2024. I predict July 2024. The reason being that LSAC's testing cycles run from July of June to the following year. They used to start in June. Now they start in July. And we've seen in the past that whenever LSAC started something new, a major change to the LSAT, they did so in June, which was the beginning of the testing year back at that time. So for example, when LSAC added the new comparative or dual reading comp passages, they did so in June 2007. Back when LSAC converted the LSAT to the standard format we see now, they did so back in June 1991 with prep test number 1. So once again, I do predict that LSAC will start a major change to the LSAT at the beginning of their testing cycle, which is now in July rather than June. LSAC has said they will give plenty of notice, several months notice of any major changes to the test. And so we can expect that if they're going to start the new version of games in July 2024, they will let folks know probably at least 5 or 6 months prior. So I'm hoping and expecting to hear from them around December, January, February, over the next, sometime in the next few months, end of 2023, beginning of 2024. Now, for those of you watching this video now, I highly recommend that if you can, if at all possible, you aim to take the LSAT and be done with it before the new version of the game section comes out, being that there is a lot more practice material available to you now for the current game section than for whatever the new version of the exam will be. At this point, we've got nearly 100 released LSAT prep tests. If you've got roughly 100 times 4 games per exam, that's roughly 400 logic games that you can practice on to get ready for taking the LSAT with the current games section. LSAC will, of course, release some sample questions and some sample sections, I would expect, of whatever the new games are going to be, but it's not going to be 400 practice games. It'll maybe be 5, 10, even 15, maybe at most. You're not going to have that much material available to study from. And of course, the prep companies like mine, we're not going to have nearly as much study material to help you get good at whatever the new games are going to be. Of course, I'll work tirelessly. I'll pull all-nighters to get you practice material and study material as quickly as possible, but there's not going to be nearly the same volume of material out there for the new game section relative to what there currently is available to you. So if you're watching this now, if you're aiming to take the LSAT sometime in the next 3 to 6 months or even a little bit longer, I'd say, if you can, take the LSAT now with the current games section. You could take the LSAT in September, October, November, January, February, plenty of time, even if you're brand new to the LSAT, if you start now, to be done with the LSAT for good before July of 2024. And if you'd like my help prepping for the LSAT, of course, there are a variety of ways I can help you out. We've got live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. Again, check out the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out. And if you found this video helpful, please do me a favor, share it with someone who needs to see it. I don't do any paid advertising for this channel. I rely only on word of mouth to help get the word out and to help folks who are looking to be done with the LSAT once and for all. So if you know anyone who's been thinking about taking the LSAT, you want to advise them to get done with it now before the game section changes, please share this video with them. It only takes a minute, and it may change the trajectory of their legal career, helping them get into a better law school, helping them get more scholarship money. That's my goal, to help as many folks as possible. And anyway, folks, that's all for now. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.